Here we go. What is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody's doing great. You know what's going on today? It's the semifinals of the Fantasy Football Playoffs. Week number 16, Waiver Wire Edition. Must-add players to help you out in the playoff push. There still are some. We got some luck based on injuries. So, I mean, if you made it to the next round and you lost some talent or you're looking to restock that bench and hopefully, play a couple players, I got some for you in this contest to covet because, I mean, it's real, man. 2 weeks away from winning those trophies, and we got to get them. So stick with me on Waiver Wire Edition, week number 16. So before we get started, do me that favor, hit that like button, please, and hit that subscribe button as we continue to grow this new channel for the Cover One, under the Cover One umbrella, I should say, for fantasy football. Do not go anywhere in the offseason. I got you covered for scouting reports, for Dynasty. I got you covered for everything. It's going to be glorious. But let's dive into running backs first. Week 16, top end running backs on the board right now is Deion Jackson from the Indianapolis Colts. We saw that Jonathan Taylor is now likely done for the season, given the fact that the Colts aren't going anywhere in the postseason. They're probably going to shut him down. No reason to, risk long-term injury on that ankle. Deion Jackson should be the number one priority for volume in this offense. 9.5% ownership right now, 52 points. He'll get the volume. I mean, we did see Zach Moss take a lot of volume this past game, but we could see, based on that, the fact that Moss couldn't get any yards per carry above even like 3.4, I mean, it's not going to work for you. Deion Jackson was quite reliable in the absence of JT early on this season. I do believe that they will go in that path. He is a top priority running back this week that could help you out in the semifinals. Tyler Algier is also back in the mix. And why? Because Desmond Ridder is the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, and you saw how much they were running the ball, trying to help get this rookie acclimated, trying to get him comfortable. Algier is back on the radar for fantasy production because of volume. His floor now has become decently safe because of volume upside. He is definitely one we could look at in matchup play if you're struggling at the running back position and you require one as a fill-in for the semifinals. He could be somebody that could get you, again, a very good floor, man. Notable additions, James Cook is on the radar, 50.2%, 71 points. He did find the end zone on a pass scramble from Josh Allen this past week. Again, he's very up and down, very boom or bust, but there is potential now as the Bills move forward that they're going to continue to utilize this man. He's got breakaway wheels for days. Great pass-catching running back. PPR upside should still continue to grow. He is definitely on the board. Rex Burkhead, sexy Rexy Burkhead. He's on the list simply because of volume upside once again. No Dameon Pierce. He's out for the year. I believe they put him on IR. So, I mean, Burkhead is your guy along with Ogunbowale. I keep forgetting the guy's name. Messing his name up. Damn it. But, I mean, sorry, sir. Ogunbowale. I still butchered it, I'm sure. But either one of these gentlemen is going to get you some volume upside. And Rex Burkhead looked like he was taking majority of the role in that department. He does have pass-catching PPR upside. Rex Burkhead does over Ogunbowale. And, I mean, I think it is Burkhead, but it's matchup play. They were playing the Kansas City Chiefs. You thought you would have saw a lot more garbage time productivity. They hung with those Chiefs quite a bit, so we'll see. Burkhead, again, is a decent play for flex options, man. Chuba Hubbard, he laid a stinker this past week. Gets everybody probably X'd out of the playoffs. I don't like it. I mean, again, could he pop off at any given moment? Sure, based on volume, but I don't trust Chuba, but he is a notable free agent if you are stuck at the running back position. Zach Moss also does grace the list because he will get some volume as well in this Colts offense, but I am not playing a Zach Moss this week unless you're in deeper leagues and you are dying for a running back. For quarterbacks, Brock Purdy continues to look purdy. And again, I mean, all this guy's doing is putting up crazy statistics in his last 3 games. Should once again this week. They're going up against the Washington Commanders. He is 21.3% owned right now. It basically is the Lamar Jackson effect and streaming quarterback players at this point for the quarterbacks on the waiver wire. Brock Purdy has done very well. We're still waiting on word of Lamar Jackson if he's going to play this week. John Harbaugh, the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, said that he's not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet. It's going to be late in the week before we find out. So you got to hedge your bets, and Brock Purdy is my top quarterback this week, even though the Commanders' defense is still pretty stout. I do believe Brock Purdy is going to still give you a decent 15 to 18 points this week once again. Mike White does still grace my list, and viably so, I want to say, because, 18.7%, yes, he was held out because of the rib injury. He wanted to go. The coaching staff and the medical staff did not clear the man to play this past week. Zach Wilson did not look great. He had a couple throws that were decent, but he did not look great this past week. So you got to believe that if Mike White is healthy enough to go, they're going to, unleash this man once again. 18.7% owned right now, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just beat up on the Dallas Cowboys, if you can believe it. Maybe it's a one-off for Jacksonville, but they are improving. They're a better team than a lot of people give them credit for. Mike White is definitely an option. Not your best option, but he's definitely still an option at quarterback. Russell Wilson, he did not play this past week due to concussion. Should suit up this week against the Los Angeles Rams, who are in a world of hurt all over the place. Do not have their stars. They're playing with a bunch of backups, and okay, they still got some decent talent on the back end, but Russell Wilson, he's an option, not a great option, but coming off that 29-point performance before he went into the concussion protocol, there is options for Russell Wilson once again. Gardner Minshew does grace the list for all you Jalen Hurts owners. This one hurts as well, pun intended, but Gardner Minshew, he's a reliable backup that can get you some point productivity, especially in an offense like the Eagles that does have weapons galore, and they do move the ball extremely well. Yes, take a haircut on the top end point productivity, but Minshew is one of these guys that you could look to if you're struggling and you are a Jalen Hurts owner. So Lamar Jackson owners, Jalen Hurts owners, it's Brock Purdy number one, but Gardner Minshew is creeping up the board just a little bit. It's a very risky play, but if you got the balls to do it, the kahunas to do it, I'm telling y'all, Minshew could be something. Kenny Pickett going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. He was held out, and Trubisky actually played decent. And so we'll see if Pickett actually gets back in the contest. He's a serviceable streaming quarterback this week against the Raiders defense that does hemorrhage points to quarterbacks. For wide receivers, Jahan Dotson, my guy. I've been telling y'all, man, I loved Jahan Dotson's game going back to Penn State. Loved his film, was in the scouting room. It was just absolutely gorgeous. This guy just scores touchdowns, knows how to find the end zone. My issue was with Tyler Heineke. Could he support all three weapons in Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel, and Jahan Dotson? And he clearly can. Jahan is one of these guys, though. He'll get you like 4 targets a game, so it is very, volatile in that respect. You're not getting a heavy set of target share, but this man just finds the end zone. They're targeting him in the red zone a lot. He makes a move, and he's able to score touchdowns. He is definitely on the radar for the semifinals this week. They have a decent matchup. So, it's San Francisco, but the 49ers do give up points through the air. So we will see. Heineke's going to have his hands full with that pass rush. So I get it. It's not the greatest matchup in the world, but if you want some upside, there is Jahan Dotson scoring touchdowns for you. Marquise Goodwin, he is definitely on the list because Tyler Lockett broke his finger, and he's going to be out for quite some time, if not the entire season. Goodwin would slot in as the number 2 wide receiver to DK Metcalf. You got to believe they're going to force feed DK quite a bit, but with the wheels that Goodwin has, you got to think that he's going to be at least viable this week in fantasy football. Could give you some high-end touchdown upside. I don't hate, picking up Godwin if you're stuck and playing him in the flex, especially if the matchup does, suggest it over all your others. I think that Goodwin is a definite good add. Treylon Burks for notable additions. He got held out again the past week in Week 15. I don't know if I'm in on the Treylon Burks thing. He is on the list because, he's an option. Ryan Tannehill's ankle, he could not move. He was a statue in that backfield. The pass game did not get going because of the injury. Malik Willis obviously spelled Tannehill for a little bit. Did not look great overall. Treylon Burks is a bigger risk at this point than we want to, say because of Ryan Tannehill's health. So, I would definitely keep him on the on the waiver at this point. DJ Chark comes off a stinker after performing very well the past couple of weeks. I do like DJ Chark still as a potential flex option this week once again. 40.7% owned in most leagues, 60 points. He's done very well since he's come back. Mac Hollins for the Las Vegas Raiders. He seems to be a fixture in this offense now. It came to the detriment of all Davante Adams owners. Davante did nothing, and Hollins got basically all the target share with Darren Waller coming back as well. Definitely crippled Adams' stock, but Hollins is definitely on the list. 24.4% owned right now, over 116 points in fantasy football is nothing to sneeze at, and he is less than 25% on the waiver wire. That's crazy talk for a wide receiver over 100 points. Hollins definitely is a plug and play at this point. Richie James, 5.6% owned, 73 points, man. What you guys don't like about Richie James? PPR guy, and if he finds the end zone, you're gold. I get it, man. It's Danny Penny's throwing him the ball, so the floor is very, small and it's low, but the ceiling, if he does find the end zone, is pretty good for a flex option at Richie James. So pick your poison. If you trust him, if the matchup is good, you got to take Richie James on a notable addition list, man. Romeo Doubs finds his way back to the field. He looked good, made some good catches. That one catch away from his body, full hand catch ball. Like, it was just unbelievable what he was doing on the field. 15% ownership. Everybody cut bait when he got injured. He's back on the radar. The Green Bay Packers still alive in the postseason race. So, I mean, Dobbs is definitely one we could look to for potential upside this week as well. KJ Osborne has a career day and now is back on the fantasy radar. But, I mean, you got to temper those expectations. I know everybody's rushing to the wire to go pick up a KJ Osborne. I'm kind of indifferent at this point. He's the third, fourth option on this offense at this point. I mean, it was just schemed up the way it was. Adam Thielen, it came at his detriment. He was not seeing targets, and KJ Osborne did uplift his stock. Maybe that is the MO moving forward for these Minnesota Vikings. JJ still number one, Dalvin Cook running upside, and then you got KJ Osborne moving into that number 2 role, and then, Adam Thielen taking a backseat outside of red zone opportunity. That's kind of what we're seeing in Minnesota right now, so we'll see if it continues. That is a heavy, risky play in the semifinals for me to pick up and play a KJ Osborne, as is Jameson Williams. He cooked the defense again deep, and Jared Goff just underthrew him. Otherwise, he would add another touchdown. Kind of going to be what we're going to see from Jameson, I think, for the rest of the season. Deep shots, deep plays, 9 routes. Kind of what you're going to get from a Jameson Williams, you got to believe at this point. They're not going to open up the full route tree for him. Just get him acclimated, get his feet wet for, getting back into football shape, and then, let the top off next season for this rookie. But, I mean, Jameson Williams, very much high-end boomer bust potential once again this week. We got Okonkwo. I got his name right. Yes, cheer up, baby. Okonkwo from the Tennessee Titans. He is one of these guys. Now he is fully entrenched on the radar as a tight end streaming option. No kidding. Even with Ryan Tannehill, if Ryan Tannehill could at least, if he was healthy, I mean, I think Okonkwo for the entire season could have been a very good tight end. Top 15, I would want to believe. He's got so much athletic ability. He's got wheels. He's a very big human being. Okonkwo is definitely one I'm looking to this week as well. Very much a safety blanket option at the tight end spot. As is Juwan Johnson from the New Orleans Saints. He is back on the good books after putting up a couple stinkers in a row. He is back. Did some good productivity in this past contest. 101.1 points, 17.8% ownership for Johnson right now. Again, very volatile, the tight end position, regardless of who you're playing. You got to look at the matchups in this sense to get the best appeal. But again, it's very hit and miss all season long outside of having the top guys. Even Mark Andrews isn't hitting this year. You got to see, it's almost rest in peace for the tight end position in fantasy football outside of Travis Kelce. Hayden Hurst is a notable addition once again. If he clears up that calf injury, this has been the problem. If he does get back on the field, he is a trusted commodity for a Joe Burrow. Very much a safety out for him, and he gets the 4 targets per game. And if he finds the end zone, you're getting your 10-plus points. So Hayden Hurst just has to clear his calf injury, and you can definitely stream him once again. Taysom Hill. They're doing the quarterback stuff again with Taysom Hill, hence why he's back on the list. He should not be a tight end. I mean, the fantasy's got to correct this, but I get it. 45% ownership, 113 points. That is pick your poison. I am not trusting it. It's too much of a boomer bust in these contests, especially in the fantasy playoffs. It's just too volatile for me. I don't like it. Ty Conklin, man, I had Ty Conklin on my list last week. What did I tell y'all? You start Ty Conklin, you were pretty much safe to do, the business. And what happened? Uzama got all the targets, man. Uzama found the end zone twice. That should have been Conklin, and I would have looked like a genius, but Uzama definitely killed my prediction in that sense. So, I mean, if Mike White does come back, you got to think Conklin should be fit back into this offense once again. Give you the good floor of 8 to 10 points. Once again in PPR upside. But, I mean, if Uzama's going to be the guy that's taking more targets away for touchdowns, I mean, man, that one hurt. I was so hoping that Conklin was going to get those targets in the red zone and the deep target that Uzama scored on. But, hey, That's fantasy football life. You know what it does and what it is, man. Jelani Woods still is looking like he's going to be the top tight end target in this Indianapolis offense moving forward. 51 points, 1.5% ownership. Without Jonathan Taylor, they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more. Outside of Michael Pittman, nobody's really stepping up at this point the past several weeks. You got Alec Pierce, he's been quiet. Paris Campbell, he's been quiet. So I think Woods could actually see an uplift in target share this week once again for Matt Ryan to be his safety blanket. And he is a high-risk option for your streaming, but he definitely is an option this week. So there you have it. That is week number 16. Waiver wire advice, must-add players, playoff help. I mean, however you want to cut it. We got some injuries that came about. Hopefully you made it with the injuries. If you didn't, I mean, there still are players that we could plug and play this week to help us get into the fantasy football playoffs, because that's what it's about. It's about winning. I'm in 4 myself. I made it to the semifinals in 4 of my 6 leagues this year. And I love it, man. I'm going to get those trophies. Stick with me, and we'll be hosting those trophies together, I'm telling y'all. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. Who you guys struggling to pick up, put them in the comments. I'll definitely answer you back, but don't go nowhere. We're all here all off season, and we'll see you next time. I am out.